If you're playing, you've already lost. Chapter 1. The forbidden link Noah slouched at his desk, the glow of his laptop casting shadows across his cluttered room. Comic books stacked high, a soda can teetering on the edge, rain tapping the window. Outside. It was a quiet Friday night, the kind where boredom drove him to dig through old forums he'd bookmarked years ago. One caught his eye, a dusty thread titled Games You Shouldn't Touch, buried deep in a glitchy site. Most posts were rants about buggy downloads, but one stood out, a single line, stark and red. Don't play if you value your life. Below it, a link glowed blue, unlabeled. Drama much, Noah muttered, smirking, but his finger hovered over the mouse. The comments were a mess. It's cursed. Played once, never again. Don't click. Yet curiosity gnawed at him. He tapped the link, and a file downloaded instantly. No name, just a string of gibberish. Probably some troll, he said, opening it against the tiny voice screaming no in his head. The screen flickered, his desktop vanishing, replaced by a black window with jagged white text. Welcome, Noah. Play? He froze. His name, right there, unprompted. No buttons, just the question pulsing. How? He whispered, then typed yes, half laughing at the absurdity. The screen flared. A pixelated forest loaded, foggy and dim, with a hooded figure standing in the center. Quest 1. Answer or pay. What's the smell of rain like? Noah blinked. Weird flex, he muttered, typing. Wet dirt. The screen paused, then flashed red. Wrong. A low hum buzzed from his speakers, and the soda can on his desk tipped, slowly, deliberately, spilling across his comics. What the? He yelped, grabbing it, but the hum grew, and a shadow flickered past his window. Tall, vague, gone in a blink. He spun, heart thudding. Rain streaked the glass. Nothing. Else. Back to the screen. The figure stood closer, head tilted. Next question. Noah swallowed, fingers hovering, the room suddenly colder, the game's grip tightening with his first mistake. Chapter 2. The Game Bites. Back Noah's room felt smaller, the spilled soda pooling on his desk as the laptop screen glowed with the game's pixelated forest. Fog curling, the hooded figure looming closer, its head tilted in the green haze. The text pulsed. Quest 2. Answer or pay. What's the sound of silence? His breath caught. His name on the screen still nagged at him. Unexplainable. And the can tipping wasn't a fluke. This is nuts, he muttered. But his fingers moved, typing. Nothing. The screen flared red. Wrong. A sharp creak split the silence. His chair rocked, tipping back an inch before settling. Noah jumped, grabbing the armrests, eyes darting. Empty room, rain drumming outside. No way, he whispered, heart racing. The hum from his speakers swelled, low and menacing, and a shadow slid past his window again, taller, sharper, lingering a beat longer before vanishing. He lunged to the glass. Nothing but wet streaks and darkness beyond. Back to the screen, the figure stood closer still, its hood casting a deeper shadow, text flickering. Quest 3. Answer or pay. What's the taste of fear? Noah's hands shook. Two wrong, two weird things. Coincidence? He typed. Bitter. The screen paused, then flashed red. Wrong. A book slid off his shelf, thudding to the floor, slowly, like pushed. He spun. The room was still, but the hum spiked, and his closet door creaked open an inch, dark within. Noah? He whispered to himself, voice trembling, staring at the screen. How'd it know him? The figure edged nearer, its pixelated form sharpening, arms faintly visible under the cloak. Another shadow darted past the window, quick, deliberate. He grabbed his phone, texting his sister Lily. "Something's weird, call me." No signal. The message stuck unsent. The screen pulsed. Next question. Noah's stomach twisted. The game wasn't letting go. Each wrong answer pulling it closer. The real world bending to its rules. He typed, fingers slick, the hum vibrating the desk as the shadows waited. Chapter 3. The Rules. Turn. Real Noah's room buzzed with the game's hum, the laptop screen casting a sickly green glow over the chaos. Soda-soaked comics, a fallen book, the closet door ajar. The pixelated forest stared back, the hooded figure closer now, its cloak swaying, arms faintly outlined, head tilted like it listened. The text glowed. Quest 4. Answer or pay. What's the color of night? His pulse. Hammered. 3 wrongs, 3 creepy shifts. Can tipping, chair rocking, book falling. This isn't random, he muttered. The shadow at the window still burned in his mind. He typed, black. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A low thud echoed. His desk lamp tipped, crashing to the floor, the bulb shattering. In the dark. Noah yelped, jumping back. Glass crunched underfoot, the hum swelling, and a shadow loomed at the window. Tall, sharp, its outline crisp for a heartbeat before fading. "Stop it!" he yelled, spinning to the glass. Rain. Nothing. Else. The screen pulsed. Quest 5. Answer or pay. What's the weight of a secret? Noah's hand shook. Each mistake twisted his room, the game seeping in. Heavy, he typed, desperate for something right. Red flash. Wrong. The closet. Door swung wide, a slow, deliberate creak, revealing black inside, and the hum deepened, vibrating his chair. He grabbed a flashlight from his drawer, batteries good, light steady, and aimed it. Empty, just clothes. But the shadow flickered. Past the window again, closer, bolder. "Noah," he whispered, voice thin, the game's grip tightening. His name, his space, his mistakes. The figure on screen loomed larger, its cloak rippling, arms stretching faintly toward the edge. His phone buzzed. No signal, but Lily's unsent text glowed. "Call me." The screen flared. Next question. He stood, flashlight in one hand, the other on the keyboard. The room felt alive, the shadows shifting, the game's rules bending reality with each wrong move, pulling him deeper into its trap. Chapter 4. The Shadows. Take shape. Noah's room pulsed with the game's low hum, the laptop screen casting a greenish glow over the chaos. Soda-soaked comics, a shattered lamp, the closet door gaping wide. The pixelated forest loomed, the hooded figure closer now, its cloak rippling, arms stretching faintly, head tilted as if it heard him breathe. His flashlight beam danced across the walls, steady but weak against the dark, the rain steady, tap outside a mockery of calm. The text glowed. Quest 6. Answer or pay. What's the shadow of a dream? 5 wrongs, 5 creepy shifts, each one tighter, sharper, realer. He gripped the flashlight, mind racing. Can, chair, book, lamp, closet. The game wasn't playing fair. Dark, he typed, voice trembling, hoping for a break. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp crack split the air. His window shuttered, a thin fracture snaking across the glass, rain seeping through. Noah spun, flashlight beam slashing. Nothing outside, just wet streaks, but a shadow darted past, tall, cloaked, its edges crisp, lingering a heartbeat longer. No way, he whispered, heart thudding, swinging the light. The room was still, but the hum spiked, and his chair slid an inch, scraping the floor. The screen pulsed. Quest 7. Answer or pay. What's the echo of a scream? Noah's hands shook. 6 wrongs now, each one a crack in his world. Quiet, he typed, clutching the flashlight like a lifeline. Red flash. Wrong. A low thump. His bed frame jolted, the mattress shifting as if something pressed down, then stilled. He aimed the light. Empty, just rumpled sheets, but the shadow flashed past the window again. Closer, its hooded shape sharper, arms faintly visible. This isn't happening, he muttered, but the game disagreed. The figure on screen loomed larger, its cloak swaying, arms reaching toward the frame. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text frozen. Call me. The screen flared. Next. Question. Noah backed against the desk, flashlight trembling. The shadows weren't just outside anymore. They were in. The game's rules twisting his room. Each wrong answer a step closer to something he couldn't name. Chapter 5. The game knows. Too much. Noah's room thrummed with the game's hum, the laptop screen a sickly green beacon in the mess, shattered lamp glass crunching underfoot, the cracked window leaking rain, the bed askew from its jolt. The pixelated forest glowed, the hooded figure looming larger, its cloak billowing, arms stretching toward the edges, head tilted like it watched him. His flashlight beam jittered across the walls, the rain's drone outside drowned by the hum, vibrating his desk. The text pulsed. Quest 8. Answer or pay. What's the fear of the dark? 7 wrongs, 7 shifts, each one bolder, the game seeping deeper. Shadows, he typed, voice hoarse, the flashlight his anchor. Maybe simple was right. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp creak. His door swung open, slow and deliberate, revealing the dark hallway beyond. Noah swung the light, empty. Just shadows stretching long. But the hum deepened, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms raised faintly, closer than ever. Stop it, he yelled, beam slashing. Nothing there, just rain-smeared glass. The screen pulsed. Quest 9. Answer or pay. What's Noah's biggest secret? His stomach dropped. His name again, now personal, piercing. How? He whispered, hands trembling. 8 wrongs, 8 cracks in his world. I don't know, he typed, panic rising. Red flash. Wrong. A low thud. His bookshelf tilted, books sliding off one by one, thudding to the floor in a slow cascade. He spun, flashlight beam shaking. The room was still, but the shadow flashed past the window, its cloak billowing, arms sharp, lingering longer. You don't know me, he shouted, but the game did. The figure on screen grew, its hood casting, a deeper shadow, arms reaching out, fingers brushing the frame's edge. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text glowing. Call me. The screen flared. Next question. Noah gripped the desk, flashlight wavering. The game wasn't just playing, it was prying, peeling his reality apart with each wrong move, the shadows closing in as the hum grew louder, alive with intent. Chapter 6. The room plays along Noah's. Room buzzed with the game's hum. The laptop screen a green-tinted trap. Rain streaked the cracked window. Books littered the floor. The door gaped into the dark hallway. The pixelated forest loomed, the hooded figure towering, its cloak swaying, arms stretching long, head tilted like it leaned toward him. His flashlight beam jittered, the rain's steady beat outside a faint echo under the hum shaking his desk. The text glowed. Quest 10. Answer or pay. What's the price of curiosity? 9 wrongs, 9 twists, each one warping his space, the game's rules bleeding in. Trouble. he typed, voice thin, flashlight clutched tight. Maybe it wanted honesty. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp snap. His ceiling light fixture creaked, swaying faintly, dust drifting down in the beam. Noah ducked, heart racing. Nothing fell, but the hum swelled, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms raised high, edges crisp and bold, lingering too long. "No more," he yelled, swinging the light. Rain, darkness, nothing else. The screen pulsed. Quest 11, answer or pay. What's the time of your end? His breath caught. 10 wrongs, the game digging deeper. Too personal, too real. Never, he typed, defiance flaring. Let it try. Red flash. Wrong. A low rumble. His drawers rattled, sliding open, inch by inch spilling socks and papers to the floor. He spun, flashlight slashing. The room settled, but the shadow flashed past the window. Closer, its cloak billowing, arms reaching faintly toward the glass. "You're not getting me," he muttered, but the game pressed on. The figure on screen loomed larger, its hood a void, arms stretching out, fingers curling toward him. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text frozen. "Call me." The screen flared. Next question. Noah backed against the wall, flashlight trembling. The game wasn't just a game. It was alive, twisting his room, his world, with each wrong answer, the shadows growing bolder, the hum a heartbeat pulling him in. Chapter 7. The game pulls closer Noah's. Room thrummed with the game's relentless hum, the laptop screen casting a sickly green glow over the chaos. Soda-soaked comics, scattered books, drawers gaping open, the cracked window streaking with rain. The pixelated forest loomed, the hooded figure towering larger, its cloak billowing, arms stretching toward the edges, head tilted sharply like it peered through the screen. His flashlight beam shook across the walls, the rain's steady drone, outside drowned by the hum vibrating his desk, his chair, his bones. The text pulsed. Quest 12. Answer or pay. What's the shape of dread? 11 wrongs, 11 twists, each one a fracture in his world, the game seeping in deeper. Circle, he typed, voice trembling, flashlight clutched tight. Maybe it liked riddles. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp creak. His floorboards groaned, a crack snaking under his feet, splitting the wood with a slow, deliberate snap. Noah stumbled back, beam slashing. Nothing moved, but the hum spiked, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms raised high, edges crisp and lingering, closer than ever. "This isn't real," he yelled, swinging the light. Rain. Darkness. Nothing else. The screen pulsed. Quest 13. Answer or pay. What's the breath of nothing? His hands shook. 12 wrongs now, the game prying into him, each mistake a shove toward something dark. Cold, he typed, desperation clawing. Maybe it wanted fear. Red flash. Wrong. A low hiss. His curtains fluttered, sliding open inch by inch, revealing the cracked glass and the night beyond. He spun, flashlight beam trembling. The room stilled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak swaying, arms stretching toward the window, its form sharper, bolder. "Leave me alone," he shouted, but the game pressed on. The figure on screen grew, its hood a deeper void, arms reaching out, fingers curling closer to the frame's edge. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text frozen. "Call me." The screen flared. Next. Question. Noah gripped the desk, flashlight wavering. The game wasn't just playing. It was pulling, bending his room, his reality, with each wrong answer. The shadows edging nearer, the hum a living pulse dragging him toward its core. S, each one a rip in his world, the game sinking deeper into him. Pain, he typed, voice trembling, flashlight clutched tight. Maybe it wanted his limit. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp crack, his ceiling split. A jagged line tearing plaster apart, dust and debris raining down, pelting his shoulders. Noah ducked, beam slashing. Nothing fell further, but the hum roared, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms sharp, fingers curling toward the glass, lingering too long, too close. "This isn't real," he yelled, swinging. The light, rain, darkness, nothing more. The screen pulsed. Quest 19. Answer or pay. What's Noah's shadow's name? His stomach churned. 18 wrongs. The game naming him, owning him, twisting tighter. Me, he typed. Desperation. Flaring. Maybe it wanted his soul. Red flash. Wrong. A low thud. His chair spun, whipping around to face him, stopping with a jolt that rattled his teeth. He stumbled back, flashlight shaking. The room stilled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak swaying, arms stretching. Toward the window, its form crisp, unyielding. "You don't know me," he shouted, but the game did. The figure on screen towered massive, its hood a black void, arms reaching out, fingers brushing the frame's edge, closer to breaking through. His phone buzzed, no signal, Lily's text glowing. "Call me." The screen flared. Next question. Noah pressed against the wall, flashlight wavering. The game wasn't just a game. It was claiming his space, shattering his room, his reality, with each wrong move, the shadows stepping bolder, the hum a living force pulling him under. Chapter 11. The game sees. Noah's room vibrated with the game's hum, the laptop screen a green-tinted abyss. Rain flooded the cracked window. Plaster dust choked the air. The chair faced him like a sentinel amid scattered comics and books. The pixelated forest pulsed, the hooded figure looming colossal, its cloak rippling, arms stretching toward the edges, head tilted like it stared straight at him. His flashlight beam flickered, the rain's howl outside swallowed by the hum, rattling his desk, his floor, his chest. The text glowed. Quest 20. Answer or pay. What's Noah's last thought? 19 wrongs, 19 wounds, each one a tear in his world, the game clawing into his mind. Escape, he typed, voice hoarse, flashlight trembling. Maybe it wanted his fight. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp snap. His mirror cracked, a jagged line splitting his reflection, shards glinting in the beam. Noah spun, light slashing. His face stared back, fractured, but the hum surged, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms raised, fingers sharp and lingering, closer than ever. "Not happening," he yelled, swinging the light, rain, darkness, nothing else. The screen pulsed. Quest 21. Answer or pay. What's Noah's heartbeat sound like? His chest tightened. 20 wrongs. The game seeing him, pulsing with him. Fast, he typed, panic surging. Truth might work. Red flash. Wrong. A low thrum. His desk vibrated, shaking comics, and cans to the floor, the hum syncing with his racing pulse, amplifying it. He stumbled, flashlight shaking. The room settled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak billowing, arms stretching toward the glass, its form bold, too real. "You can't have me," he shouted, but the game pressed on. The figure on screen loomed larger, its hood a void swallowing light, arms reaching out, fingers curling closer, brushing the screen's edge. His phone buzzed, no signal, Lily's text glowing. "Call me." The screen flared. Next question. Noah backed into the corner, flashlight faltering. The game wasn't just playing, it was him, breaking his room, his pulse. With each wrong answer, the shadows growing sharper, the hum a heartbeat tearing him apart from within. Chapter 12. The Why. Game speaks back. Noah's room roared with the game's hum, the laptop screen a green-tinted hell. Rain soaked the cracked window. The mirror gleamed with fractured shards. The desk trembled with spilled cans and comics. The pixelated forest glared, the hooded figure dominating, its cloak swaying, arms stretching long, head tilted like it pressed against the glass between worlds. His flashlight beam flickered, the rain's faint howl outside lost to the hum, shaking his walls, his floor, his skull. The text glowed. Quest 22. Answer or pay. What's Noah's fear right now? 21 wrongs, 21 ruptures, each one a slash in his reality, the game sinking claws into his thoughts. Chapter 8. The Game Names. Noah's room pulsed with the game's hum, the laptop screen a green-tinted trap amid the wreckage. Cracked floorboards, open drawers, curtains swaying against the fractured window, rain leaking through. The pixelated and forest glared, the hooded figure looming huge, its cloak rippling, arms stretching long, head tilted like it leaned into his world. His flashlight beam jittered, the rain's faint tap outside swallowed by the hum shaking his desk, his walls, his breath. The text glowed. Quest 14. Answer or pay. What's Noah's shadow made of? 13 wrongs, 13 shifts, each one a tear in his space, the game digging into him. Noah, he whispered, voice breaking, his name again, too personal, too knowing. Fear, he typed, flashlight trembling. Maybe it wanted him, raw. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp thud. His ceiling creaked, plaster dust raining down, coating his hair, his desk. Noah ducked, beam slashing. Nothing fell, but the hum deepened, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms sharp, fingers faintly curled, lingering longer, closer. Not real, he yelled, swinging the light. Rain, darkness, nothing more. The screen pulsed. Quest 15. Answer or pay. What's Noah's end? His stomach twisted. 14 wrongs. The game naming him, claiming him. Old age, he typed, defiance flickering. Let it choke on hope. Red flash. Wrong. A low rumble. His bed slid, scraping across the floor, slamming into the wall with a jolt that shook him. He spun, flashlight shaking. The room settled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak billowing, arms reaching. Toward the glass, its form crisp, too close. You don't own me, he shouted, but the game disagreed. The figure on screen towered, its hood of void swallowing light, arms stretching out, fingers brushing the frame's edge. His phone buzzed. No. Signal. Lily's text glowing. Call me. The screen flared. Next question. Noah backed against the wall, flashlight faltering. The game wasn't just a game. It was him, twisting his room, his life. With each wrong move, the shadows growing sharper, the hum a heartbeat pulling him apart. Chapter 9. The game breaks through. Noah's. Room vibrated with the game's hum, the laptop screen a green-tinted abyss. Rain streaked the cracked window. The bed skewed against the wall, plaster dust coating the floor amid scattered books and comics. The pixelated forest pulsed, the hooded figure dominating, its cloak swaying, arms stretching toward the edges, head tilted like it pressed against the screen. His flashlight beam flickered, the rain's drone outside a whisper under the hum, rattling his desk, his chair, his skull. The text glowed. Quest 16, answer or pay. What's the sound of Noah's fate? 15 wrongs, 15 breaches, each one a wound in his reality, the game clawing deeper. Silence, he typed, voice hoarse, flashlight clutched tight. Maybe it wanted despair. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp snap. His wall cracked, a jagged line splitting plaster from ceiling to floor, dust puffing out. Noah stumbled, beam slashing. Nothing shifted, but the hum roared, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms raised high, fingers curling toward the glass, lingering, too real. "This isn't happening," he yelled, swinging. The light, rain, darkness, nothing else. The screen pulsed. Quest 17, answer or pay. What's Noah's last light? His chest tightened. 16 wrongs, the game owning him, each question a chain. Hope, he typed, desperation surging. Give. It's something bright. Red flash. Wrong. A low creak. His window shuttered, the crack widening, glass groaning as rain poured in, pooling on the sill. He spun, flashlight trembling. The room stilled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak sharp, arms stretching, long, fingers brushing the glass, its form bold, unyielding. "I'm not yours," he shouted, but the game pressed on. The figure on screen loomed massive, its hood a black abyss, arms reaching out, fingers curling closer to him. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text frozen. "Call me." The screen flared. Next. Question. Noah gripped the desk, flashlight faltering. The game wasn't just playing, it was breaking through, shattering his room, his world, with each wrong answer, the shadows stepping nearer, the hum a roar tearing him open. "You," he typed, voice breaking, flashlight clutched tight. Honesty was all he had left. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp creak. His ceiling fan spun, slow at first, then faster, blades whining as dust rained down, pelting his face. Noah ducked, beam slashing. Nothing broke, but the hum roared, and a shadow darted past the window, tall, cloaked, its arms sharp, fingers curling toward the glass, lingering. Too close, too real. "Leave me alone," he yelled, swinging the light. Rain, darkness, nothing more. The screen pulsed. Quest 23. Answer or pay. What's Noah's voice to me? His stomach twisted. 22 wrongs. The game speaking to him, claiming him. A scream, he typed, terror surging. Maybe it heard him. Red flash. Wrong! A low hiss. His speakers crackled, his own voice echoing back. "Leave me alone!" Distorted, layered, looping louder. He spun, flashlight trembling, the room stilled, but the shadow flashed past, its cloak billowing, arms stretching toward the glass, its form crisp, unyielding, inches away. "Stop it," he shouted, but the game answered. The figure on screen loomed massive, its hood a black abyss, arms reaching out, fingers brushing the screen, a voice glitching through. Next question. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text glowing. "Call me." The hum pulsed, alive, syncing with his breath. Noah gripped the wall, flashlight faltering. The game wasn't just a game, it was talking, breaking his room, his voice, with each wrong move, the shadows stepping closer. The hum a living force, dragging him toward its endgame. Chapter 13. The Game. Takes him. Noah's room shuddered under the game's relentless hum. The laptop screen a green-tinted abyss. Rain poured through the cracked window, soaking the floor. Plaster dust coated the comics. The ceiling fan spun wildly above the chaos. The pixelated forest loomed, the hooded figure towering massive, its cloak billowing, arms stretching toward the edges, head tilted like it pressed through the screen into his world. His flashlight beam flickered, the rain's howl outside, a distant echo beneath the hum rattling his desk, his walls, his chest. The text pulsed. Quest 24. Answer or pay. What's Noah's last stand? 23 wrongs, 23 breaches, each one a tear in his reality, the game swallowing him whole. Me, he typed, voice hoarse, flashlight trembling. Maybe it wanted his fight, his core. The screen paused, then flared red. Wrong. A sharp crack. His door slammed shut, the frame splintering, locking him in with a jolt that shook the room. Noah spun, beam slashing. The door held firm, but the hum roared, and a shadow darted past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms sharp, fingers curling toward the glass, lingering too long, too close, its form stark against the rain. No more, he yelled, swinging the light. Wet streaks, darkness, nothing else. The screen pulsed. Quest 25. Answer or pay. What's Noah's final move? His heart thudded. 24 wrongs, the game owning him, its voice glitching through his speakers. His room, his head. Run, he typed, desperation clawing. Maybe it had let him go. Red flash. Wrong. A low rumble. The walls groaned, cracks spiderwebbing up from the floor, dust puffing out as the room seemed to shrink, the hum syncing with his frantic pulse, deafening him. He stumbled, flashlight shaking. The shadow flashed past, its cloak, swaying, arms stretching long, fingers brushing the glass, its form crisp, unyielding, inches away. I'm done, he shouted, but the game pressed on. The figure on screen loomed colossal, its hood a black void, arms reaching out, fingers curling around the frame's edge, breaking through. His phone buzzed. No signal. Lily's text glowing. Call me. The screen flared. Last level. Survive until sunrise. Noah backed into the corner, flashlight faltering. The game wasn't just playing. It was taking him, shattering his room, his world. With each wrong move, the shadows closing in, the hum a roar pulling him toward its final trap. Chapter 14. The screen goes. Dark Noah's room crumbled under the game's hum. The laptop screen a green-tinted hell. Rain flooded the cracked window, the walls spiderwebbed with fractures, the door splintered shut, comics drowned in dust and water. The pixelated forest pulsed, the hooded figure colossal, its cloak rippling, arms stretching through the screen's edges, head tilted like it stepped into his reality. His flashlight beam died, plunging him into dark save for the screen's glow, the rain's roar outside lost to the hum shaking his desk, his floor, his skull. The text glowed. Last level. Survive until sunrise. 25 wrongs, 25 wounds. The game had him, its voice a glitchy echo. Noah, Noah, Noah. Stop it, he yelled, voice breaking, lunging for the laptop. The keys burned, searing his fingers, forcing him back. The hum spiked, a sharp snap. The ceiling fan tore free, crashing to the floor inches from him, blades spinning wildly before stilling. Noah stumbled, heart racing. The shadow flashed past the window. Tall, cloaked, its arms sharp, fingers curling through the glass, its form stark, solid, here. You're not real, he shouted, but the screen pulsed. You played. You lost. The figure on screen loomed, its hood a void swallowing light, arms breaking through, fingers stretching toward him, long, sharp, brushing his arm cold and real. The hum roared, his voice looped. Stop it! Distorted, layered, deafening. The walls cracked wider, the floor buckled, and the shadow stepped from the window. Tall, cloaked, its jagged mouth curling, hollow eyes glinting, mirroring the screen. Noah swung at it. His fist passed through, hitting air, but the cold lingered, the hiss of its breath on his neck. His phone buzzed. Lily's text glowed. Call me. Then flickered, Replaced. You're mine. The screen flared. The figure filled it, then went black, the hum cutting to silence. Noah froze. The dark absolute. The shadow's hiss brushed his ear. Its fingers grazed his shoulder. And the laptop glowed again. New player? The room stilled. The game reset, waiting. Its last level unfinished, its grip unbroken. Its shadow lingering as the night stretched on. Sunrise a whisper away.